Hi everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great day. So this is a clip from a previously recorded video. This is a much shorter clip of it. But as always, not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research. And I'm investing in closing companies. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. And let's get into the clip. So the next one is going to be on IRES Energy. They have a lot of good news here to talk about. So this is their update for April 2023. And you can see their sites. Key highlights, so mined 319 Bitcoin. That's great. It's a nice increase from March. Electricity cost per Bitcoin is 13,000, which is kind of in line with some of the other miners that we're seeing as well, so that's not too bad there. Increase operating hash rate by 118%. This is great, to 5.5 exahash as of May 3rd. They have outperformed my estimates as far as how fast we're going to be able to get here. And after what happened in the fall into winter, where they had to give back a lot of the miners, I thought they were going to be done for, but they have surprised me. Back then, I was thinking about investing, but when they had to give back to the miners, I kind of put it on pause until I see how they are actually performing. They're performing fantastically right now. So with that being said and done, this is another one of those miners that is on my lookout table, you could say, that I'm looking to possibly get into a little bit here if I have the funds to do it right now. I got property taxes I got to pay this month, so I won't have a lot of cash to invest in these guys or some of the other ones that I'm invested in, like Bitfarms or CleanSpark. But we'll see what happens down the road. Potentially might be able to buy in a little bit on these guys as well. Okay, and they also got back 18.4 million AEP refund received, so that's good there. New R&D initiatives underway, so that's also good. And then further ordinary shares acquired by director Mr. Michael Alfred, so that's also good to see that the people inside are buying. And then Childress update here, so 600 megawatt bulk power substation and 100 megawatt primary substation energized. So this is good. The 20 megawatt data center operational with final commissioning activities, and then they have 580 megawatts of spare power capacity for expansion planning underway. So this is interesting here. How much can they actually grow based on this? So let's take a look at some math here that we can do on it. If we look at the 580 megawatts right now, what that could actually entail, I'm using 80% of load, so they could possibly use 464 kilowatts, 1,000 of that. I don't know if the miners are actually getting 100% of the load that they can get. Usually I think it's like around 80%. You want to have a little bit of spare on it. But at that point, we're looking at, let me see here. We're looking at the 140 terahash miners right now, which are the Antminer S19 XPs. How many could they actually have of those miners? And let me see here. They could possibly get approximately 152,000 of those 140 terahash miners. That would get them to 21.4 exahash with just the 580 megawatts here alone. Not to mention the 5.5 that they already have. So they would get them closer to 26.9 exahash. That would definitely make them one of the biggest miners here that we were talking about here, bigger than Mara, CleanSpark, Core Scientific combined. Well, not combined, but those in general in that group. That would definitely put them in the top 4 or 5 miners in the bunch here that I covered. Okay, now as far as what would that cost, right now I think CleanSpark, I believe, purchased those miners at $23 per terahash, I believe. I don't know if that price is still going to be good at that with Bitcoin price going up. It might be a little bit higher, but I'm just using $23 per terahash. That would cost about $500 million to get to the 21.4 exahash right there. Okay, they did get $18 million from the deposit back. How much could they grow from that? They could grow another 782 petahash roughly on that, almost 1 exahash of growth there with about 5,590 miners at that price. Now, given if price goes up before they make any purchases on it, well, then you're looking at possibly, let's say it goes back up to $25. Well, now you're looking at 535 million. If it goes to $30 when they purchase, now you're looking at 642 million potentially before they can do that. Now, there's also added costs that you have to build out the infrastructure, everything else to it. So you're looking at possibly closer to $800 million potentially. I don't know how much all that infrastructure costs. I'm guessing between 150 million and 200 million, somewhere around there. Okay, so that's kind of the thought process between that and what they could possibly grow to. They do have the optionality to grow to that size if they wanted to, but it's obviously going to cost them quite a bit to do so. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to grow into this year and then potentially even into next year and even after the halving event. But at that point, you kind of want to be careful with the prices of the miners, especially per terahash miners and things like that. Okay, let's get back into it here, and then we'll get back into what we got. So like I said, this is really good news for them. Let me see here. New R&D initiatives. So as part of IRES's exploration and investment in R&D initiatives to facilitate growth beyond its first 5.5 exahash, the company acquired 200 of the latest generation Bitmain S19 XP miners for testing across its site. So they bought 200 of those. They're going to be testing to see how well they perform. if they're to their liking, then we might see them pull a little bit more on that string as far as how much they're going to be growing here in the near future. Okay, we talked about the share acquisition by directors, and I think that was it, unless there's something else here. Future development sites. So development work continued across additional sites in Canada, the USA, and Asia Pacific, which have the potential to support up to additional 1 gigawatt of aggregate power capacity capable of powering growth beyond the company's 760 megawatts of announced power capacity right now. So that would definitely be another increase there. They could possibly get to as much as 35 exahash, I think, based on that information there. If we put in 1 gigawatt, let's go back to our spreadsheet here really quick. Put in 1 gigawatt here. What would that entail? They could definitely get to about, 36.9, give or take a little bit here, exahash. Okay, so huge growth potential with them. We'll see how they can deliver going forward. They did a nice job after the problems that they had in the fall and spring where they had to turn, or not fall and spring, fall and winter, where they had to turn in the miners, but they've grown nicely ever since then to get back up to a new high for them, okay? So let's take a look at IRES here that we do have on them. There they are. Okay. So IRES has about 54.9 million shares. Not a lot of shares out, right? They can dilute if they want to, and they would be able to do that quite easily. The stock price is pretty good right now. Especially if price goes up higher, they could possibly do that. But right now, market cap is 196 million. Current hash rate, they're pretty much fully installed. I'm just fully installed right now at 5.5. And we've seen also pretty good growth for them as well on the 1 week, 4 week, 8 week, and 12 week time frames. Here it's all green, which is good. Now, as far as BTC production isn't concerned, it has improved here to 319 in April from 173 in March. Their peak was in October of last year of 448. They don't hodl anything. They sell pretty much everything that they have. They're fully installed right now, and we'll see what kind of growth they provide us going forward. And a month over month, BTC production, you can see here that they had a big drop here from October to November. It was down 297 Bitcoins. And then they had a nice increase here of 146 from March to April, which is good there. BTC hodl, don't hodl. Bitcoin efficiency-wise, they installed a lot of miners this month or in April. That's going to have an impact on the efficiency, so I would expect them to go back up. They've been always pretty efficient. In the top 5, I believe, as far as miners are concerned when it comes to efficiency. I would expect them to come back up after the miners have a full month of running on it. Okay, Bitcoin sold, how much they sold each month there. You guys can take a look at that. Hash rate and revenue. So here's what I was talking about back in the fall, early winter time, right? They got up to about 3.9 exahash. Then they had to basically give back 2.45 exahash. That definitely dropped them down to 1.4. And then they grew steadily here through the last 5 months or so. And then obviously this month had a huge increase in hash rate growth there. So fantastic job by them on this one. And you can also see Bitcoin revenue here. They were at the beginning of last year in April was 5.15 million. They're up to 9.2 million right now. Nice, almost a double on that one. That's always what we want to see here with the miners, is growing from their previous highs potentially. They got up to 8.8 and they actually blew past it in April now. So 6 months later, they actually outperformed on this one. So that's great to see as well. Even Bitcoin price has gone up, that helped, but the network difficulty has also gone up as well. So that kind of put a hamper on things. Okay, Bitcoin sold value, you can see that they've been selling consistently here as well. 9.2 million now. They sell everything that they mine. And then last 4 quarters revenue, we can see that it was coming down here. Current quarter, this is obviously not going to be the current quarter that we're in. This is for Q1 of 2023 numbers. This is just to compare it from Q2. It's going to be their Q3, our Q1 here. They're on a different schedule for their yearly revenues. And then we can see operating costs have been coming down as well, which is good here instead of going up in Q2, which was Q4 of 2022. Okay, other metrics here we can see here, cost to mine Bitcoin was about 10,000 here at the end of the year. They're up to 13,000, which is kind of what we're seeing with the other miners as well. So that's in line with what we expect. Bitcoin mines quarterly has gone up and come back down. I would expect that to go back up here in the next quarter that gets reported. Debt to equity, lower is better. It's still not too bad, 0.52. We'd like to see that come down a little bit here. And the current ratio has come down as well. So we'd like to see that get a little bit better here as well. They don't have at least 1x of current assets to pay current liabilities. As you can see here, at the end of the year, they had 74.6 million in current assets, but they had 140 million in current liabilities. Right, that's always a little concerning there for that. But Bitcoin going up in value and everything else, it should be helping them to pay down some of the debt as well. That's why I really want to see some of the Q1 numbers from all of these miners as well to see how they are performing. Okay, as far as institutions did increase here a little bit to 35 from 34. Shares actually went down a little bit to 11.72 million from 11.78, and that's a percentage of 21.32 from 21.42. So they went down a little bit here, but the good news is we still have the same analyst ratings. So 2 strong buys, 3 buys, 2 holds, 0 underperformed, 0 sells, and then the price target actually went up to $11 from $8 for the high. The average went up to $7.33 from $6.42. The low went up to $4 from $4. So that stayed the same here otherwise. But here's what we got as far as installed miners and how long they were operating for April. So in April, it looks like they were operating pretty much for the full month of 30 days. And then the last batch of miners that got installed, the 2.8 exahash roughly, it was only about for 16 days. That's how I was able to calculate how much they actually made, the 9.2 million, which is what we're seeing here based on the Bitcoin average price for the month of April, right? So we're right in line with that. Okay, now, like I said, they're fully installed right now. We'd like to see if they can grow any more this year, which would be nice to see. And if they can grow, I think they could possibly fetch a better PE ratio. But right now, they're at 357. They're catching a PE ratio based on my numbers here of approximately 5p right now. But I think they can easily get to 15. When Bitcoin starts going back up a little bit here, past maybe 30,000, I think they can possibly get to $10.22 to $15.34. I do think they're undervalued, but I can see why they are where they are right now based on the current debt that they do have. So there might be a little fear or trepidation in the investors to get there, but they've done a fantastic job there. I could easily see them getting there, if not getting to 20. And in 20, we'd be looking at 1363 to 2045. And I think we're using the last, let's take a look at these numbers here. If we're using we're using Q1, Q4, and Q3 numbers, and then the current quarter number as well for our estimates on that one. Okay, so that's it for that one. That one was pretty easy. And let me see here. Where is it? Is it this one? Nope, not that one. This one. That's what I want. So nice job by Iris Energy. They've definitely proven me wrong. I thought it was going to take them a lot longer to get back to at least where they were back in fall. But they've actually beat it right now, so they've done a fantastic job on that. And it's, like I said, it's one of those ones that I'm thinking about putting a little in on them because, one, depending how they grow going forward, but they do have a lot of potential. They have a lot of wallets that they can use if they needed to. Okay, so that's it. Let me know what you guys thought of all of this. As always, the spreadsheet's available to my Patreon members. Thank you to everyone there for their continued support. Thank you so much for everyone here watching. Thank you to the YouTube members as well. You guys will get the printouts of these as well, the pictures of them, of the dashboards here. Those will probably be out tomorrow. Other than that, I think that's it. We'll see what the miners did against Bitcoin this week in either Saturday's or Sunday's video, and then we'll see what else we can kind of